welcome back to Scouse Farm. Today another short video about blueberries, and for some reason a lot of people assume blueberries are tropical crops, but they grow perfectly well in the UK and in many countries, to be honest. And what you can see here is one of them looks rough, but let me get in close. These are very small blueberries forming on this variety. And with blueberries you want to plant a number of different plants close to each other due to the pollination. They need other plants around them to get a large amount of fruit to start growing. So the bees need to start mixing up the pollen on the plants. And this next one, which is also in the ground, you can see it looks much healthier. But this one, the variety, I can't quite remember the name, is a blueberry that it just doesn't drop its leaves. As the other ones I have in the winter, the leaves will drop and they'll be bare, but this one retains its leaves, or at least most of them, and it's bushing out quite heavily, taking over the space. But I'm quite happy, and it will form, I think, within year 3 or 4 for this particular plant. And already, as you can see, there's a considerable amount of blueberries forming on the sides, and it's fruiting all over the show, and I'm looking forward to getting a good harvest off this one. And the one you see behind, this is again a 4-year-old blueberry that I've cut back many times. You see that clump there, much bigger, and this was cut back heavily in winter and it stayed in the pot. And I think in this country that the blueberries do really well in containers, and it's best to keep it in containers unless you know for sure that the ground that you have is more acidic than alkaline. Because blueberries, like azaleas, which is that one there, which is already flowered and dropped its flowers, that prefers acidic soil as well, but it's been growing okay in that spot. I didn't know when I planted it, but I've since found out that azaleas also like acidic soil. So when you do buy a blueberry kit, a growing kit, it comes with what's called Ericaceous Compost, and that's more acidic compost. Plant that in your container, and within no time at all you'll have juicy blueberries forming. Within 2 or 3 years you'll get really good harvests for the rest of days, and they've been winter hardy for me. I've never moved them indoors, I've just left it outside in a container, and it comes back year after year. And you can see where I've cut it back heavily, and last year I got, I'm not kidding, just that one container I had about 1,000 blueberries, and they just keep going and going. So I'm delighted to keep it in a container for as long as I can. So another tip for blueberries I've heard is that you can place lemon. So lemon, once you finish using your lemon, you can put the rind, the skins, or old bits of lemon inside the container. And if you go to a cafe that sells the powdered coffee, you know, the percolator type coffee, you get the used coffee grounds from your local cafe, and you can sprinkle some of them around as well, and apparently that increases the amount of foliage and growth and even the fruiting. So I'm going to try that this year as well. I'm going to throw a few lemon peels around there and try and get hold of some coffee grounds. And while we're here, I'll show you another little tip, or not a tip, but something to do if you're ever bored and you drink a lot of wine like me. You can make a wine cork birdhouse, which I did, and last year a robin made its nest in there, laid eggs, and unfortunately a magpie got hold of it, ripped the eggs out and scared the robin off. But that's what magpies do, little asbo birds. Pain in the backside. And you can see there a couple of Prosecco corks as a chimney, in case they want to put a log burner in. You got to be safe, haven't you? Better safe than sorry. And cladded the outside there to keep them warm with all different wine corks. And I've also got a guard pig, why not? Inside now, that's the leftover nest from last year, and it's just a bed, it's a spider house at the moment, so it's just spiders and webs. But it was something to do when I cut this tree down. So there you go, a few tips for blueberries. I'll show you a few more videos when they start growing and getting ripe. But no matter what garden you have, ideally don't do what I've done and plonk them in the ground. Just keep them in containers, but keep them close to each other. And then if you think it's growing out of the container, just pot it up into one of the larger ones, like these potato ones with the handles. Thanks again for watching. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you again soon.